I'm LeAnne Dolce. I'm the founder of MyNapturalRoots magazine.
Hi, I'm Jameelah Mullen.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Jabari Carter, Mr. International.
Welcome to the Chop Club.
Yeah. So a dynamic I've run into in my time in Atlanta, it's been pretty interesting, is that I've come across a lot of, and I love women, I've come across a lot of women when you start to interact with them, I'm starting to find out that they're kind of polarized into masculine energy. And it took me a minute to really recognize what was off, like what I was seeing, what I was feeling, why did we have this connect or disconnect, and even what it looked like, how it changed the relationship I had with these women. And I started to look around and realize that, you know what, this is a pretty big thing. I'm meeting a lot of women who are completely unaware that they are polarized into masculine energy.
So give me an example.
Okay, what I mean is, if I'm in a social situation, or even a relational situation, we're interacting relationally, the way she processes the thing that just came out my mouth, or even the situation we're in, is similar to how a man would do it. Like, I'll give you a roots down to earth example. I'm in Home Depot with a sister, and I'm asking a guy a question about where something is. He tells me where it is. I hang around a lot of women.
Right.
I gently grab her arm and say, come on, let's go here. And it was like she took offense. It was like, it was an immediate like, don't do that to me. What are you doing? You don't run me around, tell me where to go. Her whole thing just switched, and it kind of caught me off guard because I wasn't used to that. I'm from New York. I've always been around a lot of feminine women, and they love when you can respectfully say, "Come on, sweetie, let's go over here." And they, but not this one or her friends. She took offense because she felt like I was trying to dominate her, much like a man would do if I'm like, "Yo, son, let's go over here." You don't really do that to another alpha male. You be like, "Yo, son, let's go." You be like, "Yo, I'm about ready to leave, and yo, you ready, son?" Yo, you kind of do things a different way because it's testosterone you're dealing with. But I'm finding that a lot of these women, you had to deal with them like they were alpha men. So I had to readjust the way I was dealing with these sisters, and I found that they come in packs. It's not just one. All her friends are the same way. It's amazing to me. And another dynamic is that these same women, because they're polarized that way, attract men who are polarized into feminine energy. So when you meet the guys that they're dealing with, or even when you start to people play on how they want you to interact with them, they want you to dumb your alpha down. They want you to come with a little less testosterone. They want you to kind of be a little sissified in order for them to feel comfortable being with you. So I'm just looking and seeing like, wow, how is this affecting us as a whole? You know, what are the social ramifications of this? Because, you know, a lot of the women are training men into behaving a certain way in order to get what they want from you. You know? So I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if that's a dynamic that y'all have noticed, but I know I have. It's pretty interesting to watch, you know.
I have to some extent. I mean, Atlanta definitely has its share of straight bitch men, for sure. But or you know, they say it's straight, but they're very bitchy. But so I've definitely seen it with men. I mean, and I got a lot of uncles, and my father is a military man. He's a man's man, so I'm not used to. For lack of a better word, just some midgets, you know what I'm saying? Like Kevin Hart would say. So I know what you're talking about. And I want to say, like, in terms of women, I definitely see it. You know, I may even have a little bit of it at times. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, first of all, it's social conditioning. We're telling each other that this is how you're supposed to behave. We're telling each other, like, when you go on dates, you don't take this, that, and the other from a man. So we're dating with our guards up for no reason, and especially if we got a little age on us, we've been through some stuff. Yeah, and I'm there. So, we've been through some things and stuff like that. So it hardens us. So it's like people got scar tissue around the heart. And I think that's kind of where the alpha male thing comes from. But I definitely see it. Some of my girlfriends might be watching, but even in some of my girlfriends, that it's you're unnecessarily aggressive and hard, but it's a protection.
It's a defensive answer. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay.
And probably because I'm probably a lot of what he's saying. But mine isn't about a defense mechanism, it just is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been around more men. Now my family is female heavy, but most of my friends I've always had more friends that are male than were female.
Mm-hmm.
And not just because females are bitchy, they're catty. I never really got down with that. So I hung out with a lot more men, which is where some of that processing comes from. Because you emulate who you are around. What you're around most, that is kind of where your experiences and where your decision making and your things come from. You rationalize it based on the experiences you had. So it's not always that. And for me, I don't want for lack of a better word, a bitch. I don't want a soft, feminine man. But there's nothing that I can do with him. I guess I would say that you have two different types of this alpha female, is what I call it. So you have the kind that you're alpha because that's what you have to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was a single mother.
Good
I was
point.
in school. I worked full two jobs. Was in school full time with a kid.
So you have to develop that.
So you have to develop that. That it doesn't matter. Things have to happen. I have to do what I have to do. Versus somebody who wants to control somebody else. That's a control freak. I don't necessarily even see them as an alpha female. I just see that person as a control freak. And you want somebody you can dominate. Who wants somebody that they're going to knowingly dominate? I'm looking for a partner. I'm not looking for another child.
You make a good point, but this is now the thing is I've had in the 4 or 5 years I've been here, I've had a lot of experience with the woman who's polarized masculine, and I've noticed there's 2 programs running. Okay, a lot of them have become that way because, like you said, they had to become.
Yeah.
Now, and a lot of them maybe have had some heartbreak, So I find that this particular type of woman feels safer with a softer man. But she's not, no, listen to me. He's safe because he can't really break her heart. Why? Because she's not completely drawn to him.
No, everybody's mother will always tell you, find a man who loves you more than you love him.
Yeah.
Right, but what kind of mother tells you that? But check this out.
But because that's the one that'll die for you. And that's what a woman always wants, is a man that is a protector, that is whatever, without somebody who she feels is dominating her. A man can be the head of the household and not be an overbearing, dominating force.
He can.
You know what I mean?
He can.
So you can be a complete, and honestly, a true alpha female really is only looking for an alpha male because you want somebody you can let down your guard with.
Yeah.
The reason why if she goes with a man who is not, one, a lot of times it's maturity. Because she may not be at that level where she's comfortable with her alpha femaleness and letting down that guard. So she's going to stay around men that she can dominate until she gets to a point to where she feels like, okay, I can get to that safety point to where I can let somebody else, let the man, be the head of the household without feeling like I have some lack or some.
That's true, but for some women that takes 20 years.
Oh yeah, they may never get it.
They may never get it. But what happens along the way? Now what I find, like I said, there's 2 programs running. They'll have the official man, it's my boo, it's my husband, it's my boyfriend. He's polarized a bit feminine because he's safe. They can control him. He doesn't generate enough joie de vivre, enough to really have her going crazy. I'm over here, but you know what? They creep with an alpha.
Wow.
They got an alpha on the side that they can't really control, but he stimulates them.
You want me to explain it to you?
He makes them. He makes them. I don't know the camera. He makes them come on.
Right, but this one over here pays all the bills.
Right.
He makes sure that her and her family are taken care of, and he probably has some sexual issues. She's not completely satisfied over here sexually. But like you said, he is safe. He makes sure that family is well taken care of, so she feels safe with him.
Yeah.
And that she's not concerned about security. That's one of most women's first thing is we're concerned about emotional, financial, all of that. Now the one over here, everybody loves a bad boy. I mean, you know, you kind of like that hot energy, it's passion. But this right here, there's no security in that. Because the passion that he has with her, he got with her, and he got with her and her over here.
That's where the unsafety comes in.
Right, because so you already know that you are probably one of the many over here where you are the only one over here. You know, and I know a lot of people who have been in that, who lived that, who are that. You know, so that I've lived it myself, so I can speak from experience on that one. This one is the nice one that you want to go out and have a quick, hot, good time. Like you said, the sex is amazing, that connection, but it's that short-lived. It's when the flame first starts, poof, and then the flame dies down, and that's where he will always come out. Eventually, he's going to come out on top because that's longevity. This is now.
But what about the man who has both?
Yeah,
Because
he's there. He's out there.
because you have alpha males usually do alpha kind of thing. That edge.
Female, though.
They have a high level of magnetism, a high level of virility, and they have options. So that right there, because you know, I know alpha men that can provide security. Most alpha males can provide security because that energy is not just in for sex or having stimulating conversation or knowing how to commandeer your emotional worlds. You know what I mean? No, they get money, they can provide security.
And I think that a mature alpha man doesn't really want to have to be out there like that. You know what I'm saying? But I think, this is just my opinion, and especially in a place like Atlanta, I hear everybody, people come down here and they think that Atlanta is just a pussy smorgasbord. So they come down here, you know, it's like they're a different person from where they were in Miami or New York or wherever. I mean, I can name about 3 or 4 men that I know that have pretty much said that, you know, because, and sometimes it's our fault, you know, they tell us that what is the ratio now? 1 gazillion women to 1 man. Yeah, he might be gay, you know, so when we have that mindset, we get thirsty as hell. We're throwing ourselves at these men. And so if he's an alpha man, I mean, it's like, why would you? Settle down, you know. I feel like Atlanta is it's a different animal than it is in other places.
I have an example of that. One of my friends, now he's married now, but when it was just him and his girlfriend, they were at a reggae club. He's with his girlfriend, holding her hand. Woman comes up to him like the girlfriend's just not there at all, and just grabs him and tries to pull him away. And totally disrespect him, his relationship, this woman that's standing there. Like literally he's standing there holding her hand. And that's, I mean, I've seen women that are that aggressive, and to me that is a classic thing of thirst, is that when you blatantly disrespect what you see just because you think he's fine or whatever. But at that point, the man will never respect you. He will never want you. If let's say he did step out, you're a piece of pussy. And you know, and so the thing with the alpha males that can provide, when he has all of that, the problem is until he gets to that age of maturity, he's going to do what a young man does. But they call it sow your oats, He's
Oh,
gonna,
but
because he
I
has
say what
options,
he's allowed
he's
to
going,
do.
right, he's going to go, and that's why I said over here, you're one of many. Because he already knows. He knows he's the shit. So he's got probably 4 or 5 women over here. Because he knows he has options, especially in Atlanta. He knows he doesn't have to work that hard to keep them because they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. But I've seen trolls do that here in Atlanta.
Oh, yes.
I think what it is, they just see the mixed match. Because when I see an alpha woman with a bitch ass nigga, it almost upsets me. Like, oh my God, why is she? You know what? Somebody just needs to snatch her away from him because he doesn't know what he's doing. I think women do the same thing.
But you know what? You're assuming.
I'm assuming.
You're
but
assuming that he doesn't, but there could also be the fact that they are both at a mature level
It's
to
possible.
where
It's possible.
she realizes what she needs and he provides that for her. So that's why I never look at a situation like, you know, and say, oh, why is she with him or why is he with her? Because speculation is the devil, you know, and because you don't know what drove what drove them together. And hell, I've seen some just atrocious combinations, but nothing that anybody can do could break them apart. Because they served, they kind of fit that mold